I know it's been a long day, and it's Friday at 5:30, so I appreciate you coming. I am not going to be doing a hands-on deep dive into the code. This is a much, much higher level talk. Hopefully it will be refreshing to you since you've been crammed full of lots of tidbits and great things to build your skills, which is awesome. And now I'm going to share a little bit about how you can take those skills back to the World Wide Web. Yes, the World Wide Web. So I'm Diane, by the way. My name is Diane Tate, and I work at Mozilla, and I'll share a little bit more about the group that I work with because it ties into exactly what I'm going to share about. So the whole idea of giving back with your skills and your coding ties directly to the internet itself and the principles of the internet and the web. And this screenshot right here is a picture of Mozilla's mission and values. We call it the manifesto. And some of these are the core principles of why Mozilla exists. And those are inextricably linked to the World Wide Web itself and some traits and properties that we believe the web embodies. And a lot of those encapsulate the ability to give back, to contribute, to create. Mozilla as an organization believes that the web is a public resource that lives and breathes and thrives not only through people consuming it, but contributing, creating, and building it. And that's where developers really come in. Developers are critical to this. So I just circled and highlighted some of the key concepts from our manifesto that embody this. It's a public resource. It offers everyone the ability to shape that, so it's not top-down, it's not command and control. It's truly a universal resource that is shaped and built by everybody. So why Mozilla? So there's obviously lots of things you can do on the web, lots of places you can go, lots of ways to contribute, and I am a huge cheerleader and advocate of all those ways. There's lots of nonprofits out there that you can use your coding skills for, and this talk in no way minimizes those. If you feel a passion or have an affiliation with a group that is serving people through your coding skills, by all means do it. Get involved and follow your passion and give back where you want to give back. Today, I'm talking about Mozilla, one, because it's where I'm from and I know it and I can talk about it, but also we are a nonprofit, and that's something that a lot of people actually don't realize. But by giving to Mozilla, you're not giving to a corporation, you're actually giving to the web directly. Our entire mission and purpose for existing is to advance the health of the web. So we don't make money off of our users in the ways that other companies do, and our target is not to grow each quarter or grow our profits, grow our users. We want to do that to have an impact on the web. And it's all about making the web healthier and better for everyone to contribute and to advance those core values that I was just talking about. So that's why I can, with good conscience, encourage you to participate and contribute in some of the things that I'm going to share about Mozilla, because it's a direct line item to the web itself, so to speak. And one of the things I'll share when I'm talking about all these programs and all these things that are at Mozilla, it's really about people. I just added this slide now because earlier I saw this, and granted it's for BitTorrent, so there's a little bit more backstory to this slide, but I loved the tagline of it's people over servers. And at Mozilla, if there's anything that I hope you will take away from what I'm going to share with you today, is that by contributing or getting involved at Mozilla, you are not creating a product for somebody else to monetize or capitalize, but you are joining a community. And community is absolutely what lets us do what we do in an amazing David and Goliath type of way. We are only less than 1,000 employees, and yet we compete with companies that have far more resources than us. They dwarf not only our staff, but our budget. And it's all because of our community. We have people all around the world that help and join alongside of us, and they are part of our community. So at the end of the day, when you contribute and participate, you become a Mozillian, which is awesome. So enough context setting. Hopefully you're excited now. So I'll just get into some specifics. That's all I'm going to do for the rest of this very short talk, is just to share specific things that you can do and ways that you can plug in. And yes, you can find them on a wiki, on a website, but there's so much information and so much out there that it can be overwhelming. So I'm going to just lay out a few ways that you can plug in just to whet your appetite, and hopefully that will be helpful. And so I'll start with some of the things that are in the area that I work on, which is called developer relations, because again, it's about developers as people and holding hands and joining forces to make the web better. So the last talk briefly mentioned Stack Overflow. I'm sure most of you are very familiar with Stack Overflow. So a couple of months ago, we launched a Mozilla area on Stack Overflow, and this is a way for you to get your toes, dip your toe in the water, I should say. So we have a section that talks about our developer tools, which I'm sure a lot of you have been talking about today. So it's a way not only to get information and to ask questions, but if you have information that you can share to help others using developer tools, Stack Overflow is a way to get involved without too deep of a commitment. It can definitely be an ad hoc way to participate and contribute. And I included some of the links to the Mozilla section on Stack Overflow here. So that's just one lightweight, real easy way to get started and contribute. Another resource that we have at Mozilla is called the Mozilla Developer Network, and it's we get over 2 million unique visitors every month, so it's something that a lot of people use, whether they come back regularly or they just find it on search. Most of the people actually find it on search. It's basically a vast repository of documentation on various open web technologies. So this is not the Mozilla stack, this is the web. So you can find stuff on CSS, HTML5, JavaScript. You can also find stuff that Mozilla is specifically championing, like our Firefox OS mobile operating system, but again, comprised largely of web technologies. So this is a great resource, and it is a huge wiki. So in addition to consuming content from it in the spirit of the web, you can also contribute. You can QA documentation, you can localize it. We have a number of people that actually localize various portions of the web. We have a team in Italy that translated all the pages of this in Italian. We've got lots of active people that localize this so that people in their own communities can take advantage of it. And then, of course, you can also code for it. You can contribute code as well. Another way that you can read, write, and code is on hacks. So we have a blog called Mozilla Hacks, and it's a way for developers to do a deeper dive into specific use cases or problems that they're facing, and other developers are able to share. So this is not just a blog that Mozilla staff people write and share about what Mozilla is doing. This is a developer-centric blog, and we often have guest writers. In fact, we love it when people do guest posts. So if you've been working on a problem and you want to share about it and you want to go into the code and outline how you solved that problem, Hacks is a great opportunity for you to do that. We get 200,000 unique visitors every month to the Hacks blog, and people are very targeted. It targets developers just like you. So it's a great way to also get involved. We also have something called the Mozilla Marketplace. This is for apps, web apps, both desktop web apps and the mobile operating system apps that we are launching in developing countries all over the world. So you can certainly submit an app to the Marketplace, which is awesome. You can also review apps. So you can join hands with lots of contributors. In fact, we get about 400 apps every week, and the bulk of them, about 90% of the apps that are submitted, are reviewed by our community members. So again, it lets us do so much more. People like you and people in the community enable us to actually offer a global web offering around the world. So the app marketplace is a great way to also just take on work as you're able to, as your workload allows. Yeah. It's more like a review process, although we do have people reviewing the code, so that's a great question. I'm pretty sure you can do both. I'm not sure how we work with contributors in the code reviews, but contributors do everything at Mozilla, so I'm happy to get back to you, actually, and find that out. So yeah, I'll have my contact info at the end as well. I'm just Diane@mozilla.com. So I'm sorry, the question was, can contributors actually review the code within the apps, or do they just review the apps for the standard things that reviewers review, like how usable is it, how useful is it, does it crash, that kind of thing. So I will definitely get back to you. Good question. And then, of course, the new swag today are phones. So we have phones. If you are an app developer and you say you've built an app on Android or you've built an app on iOS and you want it to be a web app, we have lots of programs to encourage you to migrate your app or port your app over. We've partnered with Adobe and Cordova on that, and we have lots of programs to encourage successful app developers to build for the web. We want the web to be successful, and so we want good apps to be in our app ecosystem. So you can check that out. we basically have phones for apps. And so we have a developer reference phone called the Flame phone. We came out with a different phone about a year ago called the Geeks phone. And these are for developers to actually throttle performance and play with different settings. So the phones are optimized for that. You can purchase the phone on a retail website. And if you don't want to buy it, like I said, you can actually port your app over and participate in one of these programs. And there's details on the Hacks blog. So if you just look up Flame or Firefox OS phone, and if you can't find it on the Hacks blog for some strange reason, you can always email me and I'll send you the links to those Phones for Apps programs. I neglected to do that in this slide. And then finally, events. Today we're in an event. They're an amazing opportunity to learn, to connect, contribute, and because we're a global organization, we're all over. We're constantly going to events of various sizes. Events are a big priority for us this year, and we go to a number of JavaScript events, as should be obvious to you. A couple of big events that we're targeting this year are Brazil.js. Next month, I believe these are both in August, and JSConf EU. And again, this is something that is not a top-down effort. Not much is at Mozilla. So we really partner and work with our communities to have a good, solid presence at these events. And it's a great way to meet people at Mozilla, meet other community members, and we want to be creative. So if you have creative ideas about how to make a mark or have a good footprint at an event rather than just the old booth or speaker kind of thing, we are totally open to creative solutions and ideas for that. And the link that I included at the bottom of this slide is just how you can find out where we're at. So we have a website that just says, where is Mozilla? And this is all kinds of sizes and flavors of events around the world. And then finally, this is just kind of a summary of the resources, some of them that I've talked about, and some of them will take you to resources, so you can get plugged in. And then that's just my website down there, but my email, again, is just my first name, Diane@mozilla.com. And that's all I had for you today, so we have a few minutes if you have any questions. Thanks for hanging. Oh.